What's going on, everyone? This is Sherry, and you are tuned into She Said What She Said, the podcast where we interview badass women in the sports world and beyond. So we have a pretty exciting guest scheduled for tonight, but she is having some technical difficulties, so fingers crossed we can get those sorted out. However, I know shit happens, so, if we have to reschedule, we'll have to reschedule. However, there might be a few things to talk about in the world of women, and I do have a partner in crime. You guys know her. She was my very first guest, and she has co-hosted with me a few times since, and so you guys know her. Coach, come on in. Hey. Long time no talk.
I know. It's been a long time. You're on your 29th, 30th episode?
28th, I believe, and you were number 1.
Look at you. Go ahead. She said what she said. Woohoo!
And before we get into the fucking world, excuse my French, but not excuse my French, I do want to get an update from you, Coach, because it is football season practice, isn't it? Is it not?
Oh, yes, it is full-fledged practice.
As we can see, you are coming. She's like, I wasn't going to get home in time, but you put the kids you put the teenager in the driver's seat and you pop in the passenger seat. I love it.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do.
Ain't that the truth? Because you had some things to say tonight. And so
there's been a lot going on, girl.
But let's talk about football first. Let's start. Okay. Let's start with when did practice officially start for summer for CPS teams?
2 weeks ago.
2? Okay.
2 weeks ago. We can start. It's 25 days. Until July. So it's looking good. We're still a small team. So the numbers from last year, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're cutting out a little bit, but it sounds like still a small team, but you're bringing some folks back. So I'll let you. Oh, there you go. There you are. Hey. So you were saying still a small team, but you brought some people back, increased the numbers a bit?
Correct. So right now we're at 18.
Okay.
Whether it's returning or a few more players from the school, a few more students that decided to play. So we have that, which is a really good start for us because that was more than what we had last year at this time. So I'm happy.
Fantastic. I love it. And that's the thing. You started for people that hadn't heard your episode, you are the first Black woman to be a head football coach in the Chicago Public School League. I believe that's what it's called. Yes. And you started at a very small school with a small program, and you are pretty much building it from the bottom. But the players wanted you as the coach. You were not brought in from some outside. Those people that were already on the team said, this is our woman, and we are riding or dying with her. And I absolutely love it. Now, the question for you is, do you have a kicker? And do you need me to teach them how to kick field goals? Or punt
Girl, I need you. Look, I was going to text you or call you in July and say, come and help somebody. I'm going to choose one of them dang on kids. I told them, I'm like, we kicking this year. I got some soccer people. You going to learn to kick. So, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll watch some YouTube videos on breaking down of how to teach someone how to kick, because I can kick. I just have to remember how to break it down. But we'll be out there. Because look, or if you want me to pretend like I'm 17, I look kind of young for my age. So, because I'll tell you what, I can punt that bitch a good 35, 40 yards.
See?
So,
we're going to
and I can kick a field goal.
I'm going to play by the rules and just have you show somebody. And if I have to bring them to you, I will send them in an Uber because I follow CPS. Look, I follow CPS policies. I don't have the children in my vehicle at any time.
They could come in my vehicle though, right?
They can do what they want to do. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. I'm just some random person. And in Illinois, women's soccer is a spring sport too, isn't it?
Yes, it is a spring
so
sport.
you could actually look to see if there's any women that are soccer players.
I wish we had a soccer team.
Oh, you
The
don't have a soccer team?
the school is super small. So in the fall, we have football and girls volleyball and a few people that want to run cross country.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter, it's just boys and girls basketball. And I think this year we're going to have some wrestling.
Okay.
And then in the spring, I do volleyball. And then we have a softball team. That's
okay.
it.
That's it.
Oh, and track.
Got it. Track. Yeah. Yeah, that one's easy because you don't need to. You can have a whole track team with 2 people.
Hey, and that's what we have. Look, we have 2 boys on track and 2 girls on track. So yes, that's exactly what it is.
You know, if you have any meets where they do the mixed relays, they can run a relay together. But that's great that, you know, that we do have opportunities for some of the kids. So let's talk about, I mean, it was such a juxtaposition. Is that the correct word? Yes. Over the weekend for me, because we won't talk about Friday yet. Well, we're not talking about Friday yet. We're going to talk about Sunday. Sunday was the Pride Parade in Chicago, and that I think it's the 51st-ish. I'm a little off with COVID. I don't remember exactly which number it is. And so I live on the north side of Chicago. Mm-hmm. I have lived on the Pride Parade route for 12 years.
Girl, bless your ministry.
So the parade is quite an integral part of my life. It's either been like I'll go to it, or, you know, I'll go somewhere else and watch it. I'll be going about my day and kind of watch it they changed the route a few years ago, but it used to like go up Broadway, turn around, then go Halsted. So my gym quads is on Broadway. So I remember one year it was like beyond hot. So what we did is we watched some of the parade, went into the gym, worked out a bit, and the AC went watch some more parade. And it was like, hey, buzz me when, you know, my favorite floats go by. So, but this year I had a new experience. I was in the parade.
You were?
Oh. Yes, I was. I was very exciting. One of my girlfriends works for Pepsi, and she's been in the parade for quite a few years, and she's asked me before, but I'm like, no, you know, I like to just watch it. Like, I don't want to necessarily be in it. This year, I don't know if she gave me an option. Shout out to Cam. I think she just kind of told me I was going to be in it this year. So I was like, all right, you know, we'll do a new experience. And so Pepsi had gotten 103.5's morning crew on there. So they were DJing on the float. We had the massive balloons, like, you know, those balloon things. And we were just, we had like packets of Gatorade, and we gave them all out, I want to say, in the first half mile, because I think everyone was just so excited. You know, there's just so many people, and I thought I was going to take a ton of video. I thought I was going to be, I didn't take shit, because I was so like in it, you know, to see. I mean, it's, because I've always just watched it from different places, but I've never been in the middle of it and gone 3 miles of just people on both sides, of every age, every walk of life, every race, every gender expression. They were all out there. I had 3 miles. I literally don't think I put my arm down, because I was just waving at people. I found a fan on the ground. I was standing myself with my left hand, and I was just waving. I was yelling like pretty much the whole time. I was dancing. I was running around. I was high-fiving people. I was hugging people, you know. And my step counter on my Google must have thought I was insane, because the whole time it was like, you could see all my little routes that I was doing. So the parade is 3 miles. I somehow made it 4.5 miles. That's right. I did 50% extra from going backwards and forwards and sideways and around and about and spinning.
Great job.
Thank you.
I haven't done Pride in quite a few years. The very first time I ever did Pride was when I was part of Chicago Force, and
Ah.
we were in the parade
Mm-hmm.
with Miller with Miller. And
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, it was just an amazing experience. Just seeing people, just seeing families out, just seeing all of that. And it just, every year I just, watch it on TV or watch it through all of my friends' posts on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my experience. This year I allowed my 18-year-old to go for the first time.
Oh, good. Yay.
And so her and her friends got to go and experience it. And she just was like, oh, Mom, it was just a lot. I said, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I said, it definitely is. I said, you see everything. You see love,
Yeah.
beyond everything that you see, you truly feel a sense of love.
You do. You
And
do.
that's a wonderful thing.
And certain parts through Boys Town on Halstead, there's so many people that they're over. So the overflow from the sidewalk, they put the barriers in the street instead of the sidewalk. So it gets really crowded. So the people, everyone's like right there. I mean, I'm always close, right? But it's like it got even more intimate somehow. And yeah, I would say that the overwhelming feeling was just love and acceptance of people, and you would see all the signs, and I saw a few signs that said like my first pride parade, and maybe someone older, and you're like, well, maybe it's like a mom whose kid came out, or maybe it's someone themselves that would just was coming out themselves, or maybe they just was like, yeah, I need to do this. So yeah, I will definitely be in it again. I think the only thing I'll do different is before the parade, I need to go see the other floats, because I was just hanging around our float. And so I didn't get to see like any of my favorite. I have a buddy of mine that designed Sidetracks float, and I didn't get to see in person. So I think what I'm going to do next time is maybe put a little White Claw or two in a little sippy cup. Don't tell anyone, but because I live at the start line, and just walk through the floats, or maybe check it out. We were float number 73. And there were 3 blocks of floats behind us on Montrose. I mean, this thing is, parade started at 12. We went off at like 1:35. It is.
It's becoming just as big as the Bud Billiken. And so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one takes like 5 hours to go through.
It's an all day. I just remember, them saying, hey, you got to be there at 8:00. Why I gotta be there so early? It don't start till like 12. Trust us. Just finding parking, finding your float, finding your people. I tell people, hydrate the night before. Just hydrate. And then take a porta potty or something. One of them porta, because you're gonna pee all day. The porta potties are few and far in between, and just know that you're gonna drink. Look, me and DS Tequila have many, many war stories.
Nice.
Roscoe's.
Yeah, I didn't drink too much before, because I was like, I don't want to have to be like feeling like I had to piss like during the parade, because I will like literally run over a barrier, like run to my gym or something.
Yeah, ain't nothing like it. Nothing like it. You just keep hand sanitizer and wipes with you at all times. That's all I can say.
And then afterwards we went to Wiener Circle. Shout out to Wiener Circle. We did the Chicago Clubhouse podcast there a few weeks ago. So I was like, hey guys, we can go to Wiener Circle because there's a bar in the back, and it wasn't as crowded as the rest of the bars. And then I had to think, I need to get home. I live at the start line. I walked home. I did. It was a 2-mile. It's a 2-mile walk. I think it's 2 or 3 miles from Wiener Circle to my house. Not doing the parade route. I didn't do all the zig. Yeah, and because I was like, if no buses are running by me until like 7:00. If I were to walk all the way to the red line, I think I was closer to the brown. There's all these people there. I'd have to wait for a train. If I got on the brown, I had to wait to train. And I was like, I think it's going to be quicker if I just
walk it. Yeah, definitely.
Girl, I walked it. I was so tired.
It was a big deal. like some of our Force sisters, they all got together, not just to celebrate Pride, but this week was also the 50th anniversary of Title IX.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, hell, we got to play football. We got to play collegiate sports.
Mm-hmm.
So thankful for Title IX. Look at all of the things that we have accomplished on top of Pride, so it was just a really great time to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Emma was with me. Cam got a +2 for the Pepsi float, so she brought me and Emma. And I haven't watched that documentary yet, but I know the one that they were saying Force was in about that league, because it was on NFL Network, and I was like, I don't get NFL Network, but I just switched my Xfinity package because it's now cheaper to get more channel. You know how they always got the damn deals or whatever. So I think I have NFL Network now. So I'm going to have to go find that and watch that. And I also finished on my run this morning because I ran 6 miles this morning. I finished the podcast In Their Shoes, which looks at the history of Title IX from the perspective of women's basketball. So good. It is narrated. I'm going to forget her name. I can't remember her name. She is the fencer, that woman that won the medal, were the Muslim woman wearing the first one wearing a hijab. Mm-hmm. So she narrated it. It was phenomenal. Awesome. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I mean, I learned so much. So it's like we have the history of Title IX. We have the anniversary of Title IX. We have like major Pride Parade things happening. All these wonderful things happening for women. And then you're on mute.
Our SCOTUS has lost their damn mind. They have absolutely 100% lost their damn mind.
This is what they wanted to do. This is what they have lived for. These people, and I wore this shirt today. America needs nasty women. Because we do. Fuck these guys. Fuck these old white dudes. That's why I said it. But the ones that put these guys into the Supreme Court, these people that push their nominations through, these people that even let these people become judge. I don't understand how you can be a judge and be so partial, these are the things I want to do. I want to change. Like, that's not how being a judge works. Like, that's not how any of this works. It's not how the Supreme Court was set up to be.
Surely was not. Sunny from The View said it best. She is like, look, my faith, I am Catholic, and I don't believe in abortion by any means necessary. I don't believe in it. Rape, incest, I don't believe in it. However, when I took the oath to be an attorney, I am going to fight for your right. She's like, I don't believe it is my right to enforce my beliefs on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally get that. I don't care about what your religion is. I don't care that you care what my religion is. All I care about is that you have the right to practice your religion. Don't force your religion on me. I'm not going to force my religion on you. So therefore, my beliefs are not your beliefs, and I can't force you to believe in that. I'm sorry. I am someone who had an abortion. I am someone who had an early abortion on the pill, and I've had a late term abortion. So no, you as a man, you can't tell me, or as someone who's never had to make that decision, you can't tell me that decision was easy. You can't tell me that it is not something that I live with for 20 plus years of my life. You can't tell me that it wasn't my right to do it.
Right.
You can't. You cannot. As a woman, this is my body. It's something you're not going to tell me. Hell, you're not telling the chemical companies they can no longer put cancer-causing agents in food. You still letting us eat causing haze. You still letting us eat bullshit. But you gonna tell me
cigarettes are still legal?
Yeah, alcohol. We even got machine guns that you can get at 18 having a fucking mental illness. Mm-hmm. I can go kill somebody, but I can't control what I do in my body.
And that's the thing too. It's like people say it's about the kids. If it were about the kids, then we would protect the kids in schools, right?
Girl, did you hear what Sarah, that heifer, said? The old Sarah Huckabee.
No, I try to avoid her.
Oh my gosh, it was a clip. She said, "We thank the Supreme Court. Now we're going to have kids. We're going to make them as safe as they are in schools, at church. I'm like, bitch, they ain't safe in schools. They getting shot. How fucking insensitive are you?
And there's been shootings at churches too.
Yes.
That black church in South Carolina had the shooting, and I think there was a white one in Texas last year too, I believe.
Oh yes.
You ain't safe in these places.
Look, the supermarket, people minding their own business. The theater, people minding their own business, and it baffles me what we seek our attention on. No one wants to. It's just not fair. And then first of all, I've never liked Clarence Thomas, but for him to sit there and say, after in his speech, and all of his jibber jabber, whatever, he goes, well, now it's time to talk about same-sex marriages
and contraception
and contraceptive. You shouldn't have been born, sir. I'm sorry, you should not have been born.
That man.
If you want to go that far, are we going to go back to, you're going to reverse loving?
So well, I was going to say, I mean, at this rate, we might as well just invalidate his marriage too. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson called him Uncle Clarence Thomas, and look,
girl,
Samuel L. did play that role in Django, so
and then I'm sorry, the newest SCOTUS, that I still do not understand how she even made it to the Supreme Court. You are the
most unqualified.
You are the least qualified person ever. Least qualified. I am just, it just baffles me. I am so thankful that, at least we have like I always want to call, we've had too many firsts. No, we haven't had too many firsts, but a lot of their name, the last name Jackson. So we have we have we have in the 7th district for Illinois, for the nation, we have a new appellate judge, it's an appellate Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and then we have our first Supreme Court justice, Judge Jackson, and so I get their first names mixed up, but Akawana Jackson, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Your emotions are high.
Girl, like I can imagine her sitting there and literally those facial expressions. I should have to just sit there to like, are you listening?
And to think that she was like the most qualified person ever nominated to be a Supreme Court justice, and her confirmations, she had to sit there while Ted Cruz read children's books to her. I mean, like, how insulting is that to your intelligence when someone blows up children's books and just asks as dumb at, like, she said time after time, I'm not commenting on it. I'm looking at the facts of the case and I read it related to the law. That is how I want my judges to be. I don't understand why that's not a universal thing that people like, yeah, sure, I like left-leaning judges, obviously, especially now, but I don't want a judge with an agenda. I want a judge that is going to do exactly what that is. And I want them to uphold the Constitution and the rights for people. I do not believe judges should take away rights, especially so flippantly, but then you have these other Brett and Amy. I'm not going to give them the honor of calling them a justice or their last name. Fuck them. Brett and Amy when they were being confirmed, they both said that they were not going to overturn Roe v. Wade. And what did they do? So I would need an attorney to explain to me why it's not perjury, because they both lied under oath. They said on record, under oath, that they would not overturn Roe v. Wade, but somehow, because it's a confirmation hearing, not a trial or something, it's not perjury. But like ethically, God fucking damn, this is a judge. The person that you can't ever get rid of. We can't vote them out of office. We can't. I don't think we've ever removed. And do we even have a clause in the Constitution to get rid of a Supreme Court justice? I don't think we do.
I believe. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. You have, yes, there has been something about an impeachment, retraction, removal of a justice. Yes,
Okay.
we do. It's never been done before, but we do. Um,
Okay.
we do. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see. I
Yeah. And it's like, all those it comes back to 2016. That's why I'm wearing my Nasty Woman shirt today. It comes to the people that didn't like Hillary's attitude, thought she was stuck up, judged her for being a woman, voted for the worst male human being in the history of fucking ever. Not one bit of religion is in that man, yet the churches loved him. And so you had all those people that either lived in swing states and sat out the election because they didn't like either candidate. And, it didn't affect them too much, right? If you're not a marginalized community, if it doesn't affect your life, it's a lot easier not to vote. Or you have the people that, just voted for, like, well, my taxes will do better with this. Fuck all these women. All these people talking about, oh, y'all overreacted. It's just 4 years. This fucker puts in 3.
You know what?
It doesn't even win. And I was talking to my buddy the other day, because we were going in. I was like, I think the United States is the only first world country where a candidate can lose a popular vote and still become president. How is that democracy?
Our electoral college sucks. Our Congress fucking sucks. There is no way. I'm still mad at Kentucky. I'm still mad. You keep Lindsay. You. Oh my God! You keep him in there, and long as you keep him in there, shit is fucked up. Right now, our Democrats, you're still trying to play it, bipartisan. No, I needed you to go in and
I need you to go in hard. I need you to go in hard as fuck. Because that's what these Republicans are doing. Mm-hmm.
I needed you to be assholes and kill the filibuster. That way.
Yeah, and they didn't. And it's like all these little play nice things where, they let the Republicans block Obama's Supreme Court. Like they didn't put up enough of a fucking fight. Because you know what? They didn't have enough fucking nasty women in there. Because I bet you if there were women controlled, they would not have backed down. Because they knew what was up. Just pisses me off. In case anyone wonders which way I leaned, I'm wearing fucking blue all day, every day. It just really pisses me off.
I have to tell you. So during primaries, and I tell my friends this, and I'll be like, well, why do you do that? Every primary since I've been 18, I have voted Republican.
My dad does that too a lot of the time.
Every primary, because I try to put the better Republican against us.
He would do it. Yeah, he would do it for the person he thinks that the Democrat would have a better shot at. I don't know if he does it anymore, but I know he's definitely done it a few times. Or if he's like, I can't take this Republican, like McCain wouldn't be as bad. Let me, that type of thing.
Yeah, the one thing look, 4 years ago, I made sure that I was not voting for Trump or Cruz. I voted for everybody, but I'm like, those two cannot get the nomination over my dead body. I thought, they ended up, he ended up getting a nomination, and just seeing how the world just like, oh, he said this, but he meant that. It just made me remember the propaganda of World War II. Like the whole purpose of propaganda. And you're like, you guys have to be smarter than this, people. We're a superpower. And what we have literally just shown the world is that we are gullible as fuck.
People just don't. So, I was saying this to someone a little bit earlier today on the good old Facebook. I try not to argue with too many idiots, but my dad was born and raised in post-World War II Germany. I am very aware of what can happen when people do not vote, keeping marginalized communities in mind. You cannot just vote with your pocketbook, with your bank account. You have to keep in mind other people. What's that thing of first they came for the communists, then they came for this, and then they came for me, and there was no one left. I was raised on that slogan. And so, yes, coming from a German household, coming from, it's like this shit just happened. And there are people alive that grew up in it. You know, it's like my mom was saying how my dad's stories of his childhood are more reminiscent of her parents' stories of growing up in the Depression than her stories of growing up in the, you know, the United States, because it is just so wild. And so, yeah, it is like, and people will talk about the overreaction of comparing it to Nazism, but it's really not. You know, it's that whole thing of going on people's fears, you know, the propaganda, the diluting facts, and picking on the marginalized communities. You know, they went after not just the Jews, so after the gays, after anyone that didn't look like that, you know, that they're perfect Aryan Christian race. And so, yeah, it really definitely does reek that to me. And yes, I am very perfectly aware of it. I remember I was 4 years old. Four? No, I don't know how old I am. I was 5 years old when the Berlin Wall came down. But it's like I actually remember it. Like I don't remember seeing it, but like I remember the conversations around it because all my au pairs growing up were also from Germany. My dad he's never been to Berlin. He's never been to Eastern Germany. It's so, I guess we did venture into it slightly, but you know what I mean? There's like, it just imagine growing up in a country that was, I mean, shit, even when he was born, it was still during the Allied occupation because his dad was an American. Like the US controlled this part, like France controlled this part, like, you know, USSR controlled this part. Like they legit lost their entire fucking country to the Allied occupation. And a lot of people, I just don't understand, you know, a lot of these nuances. And I guess just because I've grown up with it and listened to it and, you know, try to get as many stories as I can. Unfortunately, my dad's mom passed away when he was 21. So I never got to ask her what it was like to grow up during a war. But I mean, look at Ukraine, you know, that's what it's like. You're just bombing the whole fucking city. And so, yeah, long tangent, but you are right.
Look,
On the
we
propaganda.
had a whole fucking war against the Taliban because you said how they treated their women was wrong. You United States, you had a whole fucking war with the Taliban, and one of your main points was how they treated their women. What the fuck you doing to us?
It's wild. It's, you know, and it's one of those times where I feel safe, right? I mean, we live in Chicago. We live in Illinois. Our governor has come out basically saying they're expanding rights. You know, I mean, they're looking to more to help other women because we don't touch a single state where abortion will be legal. We are going to be the mecca for women's rights in the Midwest.
Oh,
It's a little terrifying, but in the same sense, it's like, but it's also one of those things where, like, as a woman living here, I cannot not live in a blue state. You know what I mean? I can't leave here. I can't move. Like, I can't move to fucking Texas. I can't live there.
Oh my God. You know, Texas is the new center of migration for black folks.
Yeah.
Everybody's going, I bet y'all asses leave now. Y'all coming back to Chicago, ain't you? They'll be coming back. First of all, ain't no fucking way. Mm-mm. Texas. So first, that's a whole girl. So Texas now has its very first Mexican-born U.S. representative. I forgot her name, but she's a naturalized citizen. She came over legally with her dad when she was 6, and she's a Republican. I didn't understand until she explained herself how from Mexico, her husband is Border Patrol, how you are a Republican, and it's literally just the Catholic faith.
It is, and it's a mix of the Catholic faith and also because I've read a bunch about this. I read a lot, you know, I listen to a lot. I try to stay and this is one of those things that I've looked into, but there is also in some of these, this feeling of superiority that you came over legally while others came over illegally. First of all, I don't think you're a human. You're not legal or illegal. You know, like if you're willing to put your life on the line, risk everything to come to seek greener pastures, like I want to not only embrace you because I can't do that fucking shit. But I also want to look and really figure out what the hell is going on, where you came from, and how we, as a superpower, can help make those other places better. But we really don't. We don't give two shits about what's going on in El Salvador and Guatemala, Venezuela, like all these places.
We no longer are making money from opiates from them. So therefore, no, because the light is shined. There's no war on drugs. You can't do what you did back then during Hoover days. You're not bringing in drugs from them. They're not of your concern because there's no money there for you anymore.
Yeah.
So again, the shit's hit the fan, and we just need a change. I need people to understand the primaries are where they need to vote. Your local elections are where this is the only way that we can get the government back to being we the people. It have to start with your alderman, your city council, your county, your
local
state.
Judges, because the local judges are the ones that start to move up in the chain. Judges, well, besides Amy's dumbass, but judges don't just start at the highest level. Judges normally work their way up.
They surely do. Matter of fact, so like in Cook County area, they have this thing called the Illinois Judicial Alliance, and so they put all these judges. Applications are long, and they really, run everything through to say, they judging them on their temperament, their bias, their knowledge of law, their timeliness, just all sorts of stuff. And a lot of the minority bar associations partake in that process, and just the shit that they find on people. And so literally yesterday when I went to go vote, I took okay. I took that list in with me and said, who is recommended? And they literally just put out if they recommend them or don't recommend them. They don't say that they think they will make a good judge, just that they are fucking qualified.
Yep.
But I went down that list and was like, okay, I can vote. Okay, I got you. Nope, can't do for you, but I need people to think like that.
Yeah,
money mo shit.
And guess what? If you live in Chicago, it might be all of Illinois too. You can automatically register to receive all your ballots in the mail. That's right. I don't need to request my ballots anymore. They come directly to me. And I like to vote at home, not because I'm cheating, not because I'm voting 3 times, but because I like the time to research. And the judges is definitely one of the things that I spend the most time researching. There's like votefordjudges.org, I think is the Illinois one, where it takes the different associations and it just like that. And there were multiple people on the Democratic primary ballot that were not qualified. And that's terrifying. But what I do is each one, it takes all the different associations. So we'll say some said highly qualified, some said, and each one I will take the highest rated individual. And if there's ever a tie, I take the woman.
Yes, ma'am.
That is also something my dad taught me from a young age. He would say when he would go to vote and he would see like something on the ballot, especially that he wasn't prepared for, like local school board or something. He said he would always vote for the women because he assumes that women have better intention when they enter into politics. My dad's a smart man. At least look, Amy ain't going to be on no Democratic primary ballot. But in general, I do think that he is correct. Like in general, women tend to not be as much on the power trip. We in general try to care for others more. And also in general, we are still a marginalized community. Like our rights to access to contraception is still somehow a thing that people talk about.
Oh yeah. I was like, why is it just so important? And then I started to do a little bit of research, and it is still going back to people don't like to talk about racism, systematic racism, but I need people to understand this is exactly what this is. It's still systemic. You can't tell me that in the back of your mind as an older white man, the real reason why you want abortion is so that you're not a minority in 20 years.
Right. So more white women have babies.
In 20 years, and that's in our lifetime. they say what, 44, either 2040 or 2045, with everything going as it is, white folks will be a minority. That'll be interesting. They're still the ones that vote more, so they are still being controlled, but whatever. But that's to say that. And then people were like, well, no, it's gonna really impact black and brown people because they get the most abortions. No, dear, it's not. So it's two different studies or whatever. One of them said that 67% of abortions are white women, and then it's 30-30. But then somebody else, I forgot who they did, and it said basically it was all thirds of abortions. And I don't think it's really, people don't get it.
Mm-mm.
You're
no,
18,
I mean, yeah, it is.
You're 18, you go drinking, and in some cultures, the rape culture in college is really high. The rape culture especially at predominantly white universities, is extremely high. You don't pay any attention. You drink, you get raped, you wake up, you're pregnant. So you are telling me, one, I don't know who my child's father is, so it's that stigma. Two, I got raped. I don't remember this, and you're going to have me bring a child in this world. Even if I want to give it up for adoption, there's not enough people to adopt. There's not enough people in the foster system. The social service aspect of it is horrible. All of these states are like, oh no, we're banning abortion, but your social services system sucks. You have a high rate of child abuse, of domestic violence. So you are bringing children in this world that could not have to go through this. And then, as someone that's 45, when I had my last child, I was 40. So I really worried about, genetic effect, genetic
Absolutely.
things. So 16 weeks, I'm like, 16 weeks and 2 days. Let's go, doc. I need to have this amniocentesis. I said, I'm not saying I'm getting rid of it, but I need to know what I'm getting into. And if it's something, if it comes back and it's something that I know that my lifestyle, that I am not, I can say it, not being selfish, but hell, if I know I can't do it.
You can be selfish because there are no systems in place to help people with disabled children.
Okay, exactly. If I know that, then
you're on your fucking own.
At that time.
And as you know, you're going to be an older mom, but you know what I mean? You would, like, if that child needs help their whole life, what are you, because in 40 years, something, you will not be able to physically do it anymore. What is going to happen to that child? You cannot put the burden on your other children or other family to do it.
There you
go. We don't have any things in place. Everything is private care. Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't have any kids. I've never been pregnant. Maybe there's nothing happening in my womb and I could never get pregnant, or maybe my birth control pill that I've been on since I was like 17 works fantastic. I do take it every day. And if I miss a day, I do the whole thing. If you do one pill, look, I am religious about that. However, if I did want a kid, I would not be able. I would do the same thing. I would have to do the testing. I need to know. I am not going to set myself up for failure where I might have to drop out of the workforce because we don't have any systems in place to take care of these children that need extra help. My other rant that I was going on the other day on the Facebook is, all right, so we have the people that are like, all right, abortion only in cases of rape. Cool. How are you going to prove it's rape? What are you going to put the onus on the woman to prove that she was raped? And are you going to judge to deem if you think her rape was acceptable enough or not to get an abortion? How are you going to do it? Are you going to require her to report it to the police? Because we know the police do not always listen to women. They'll blame, like, oh, you were at a party. Well, you got the date rape drug. Yeah, but you were still drinking at a party and you were underage. The blame that goes through are you going to make her take a rape kit? Many women will shower. They're in trauma. They're in shock. As a rape victim myself, it is a very I had to be told, do not shower. I mean, that's where you want to shower. You have something. And let's talk about that rape, just the rape kit. People make it seem like, oh, it's just a little kit you do. It is a more invasive process than the actual rape itself sometimes. I mean, they go through your whole body. They scan for everything. Your body is a crime scene. It is a brutal process. You do not want to go through it unless you absolutely have to do it. And in a lot of these cases where if it was someone that you were dating, if it were partner thing, if you showered, like if there was anything that they would say, oh, well, you guys just like to have rough sex. You know what I mean? It's you've been on 3 dates, you just liked it. Like, how are they going to prove that it was rape? And I have not gotten a good enough answer from anyone because there is no way to prove that. What are you going to do? Do charges have to be pressed? Because it takes a little while to press charges. Trials don't happen for a year. The baby's already born. So yeah, that's my whole thing of saying, oh, I only like it in cases of rape. Oh, okay, cool. So when everyone comes like, how are you going to prove it? How are you going to prove it's been rape or incest? That is my question for all those people. I have yet to see someone give me an intelligent answer on that one.
I am with you, Cherry. I am with you. So many, they say, 1 in 6 people who have been raped actually report it. 1 in 6. Yep. So there's 5 of the women that suffer
did not report it. And even of those of us that do report it, even a lower percentage go
to trial.
Have presses trial, and of those that go to trial, even though the conviction rate is so low. Mine was the whole stranger danger. Look, I had an open and closed case, and it was still traumatic as shit. You know what I mean? Because they're still wondering of like all these nuances. So yeah, it's pretty much if the woman already knew the man, good fucking luck proving it. Good luck for a conservative area prosecutor to take your case, because that is actually, you don't even get to, you can decide, oh, I want to press charges. Well, guess what? If the prosecutor doesn't want to do it, you're fucked. And that's another thing too with like, when they're like, oh, well, this football player, there's no, it's only civil cases. There's no criminal cases. Well, because the prosecutor gets to decide, and civil is the only way for women to actually be able to be in control of their own fucking lawsuits. Most women who are victims of rape or assault do not want to get money, but they want the man to feel some type of repercussion. And if the only way you can get repercussion is going after him in a civil thing, then that is what you are going to have to do.
Definitely.
Let me just calm down. And let's not even get started on the number of rape kits that are not tested throughout the country that are sitting in back warehouses. Can you imagine being like, this murder took place, but I don't want to go through the evidence, too much time. The amount of times that they actually have gone through those kits and they have found either people that have since been put in jail or links to serial rapists because they actually started looking at the kits 10, 20, 30 years later. Think of all of those women who did not have to be traumatized, and some of those men who are rapists turned into murderers. And so we have men that have been murdering women that could have gotten caught years ago, and all those lives that could have been saved if people actually took women's words seriously and treated rape to the type of crime that it is, because it is a first-degree fucking felony. It should be a first-degree felony. It is something is fucking wrong with you if you do that. And I really need to take a breath.
All right. Look, I got you. For America, I'm sorry, it comes down to women. Mm-hmm. We are still looked upon and treated like we're property, but not good property, because we kind of treat it like the dog or the goldfish. Mm-hmm. You love us and care for us and give us what we, what you think we need. But when it's starting to invade on your rights, on what you want to make sure that we know you want to put us in our place, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. That's what it comes back down to. It's my body. Oh my God. Frank Marshall said, just checking in, better late than never. Yep, better late than never. Hi. I don't know, Frank, if you want to say something, because we talking about you men.
You men. I'm coming for. Here's the thing, though. Most men are pro-abortion. You know what I mean? Most men, because a lot of guys don't want to have a bunch of kids. You know, they want to know that is an option, or they understand that women have equal rights too. It's so weird.
You know, most. He said, "Uh-oh."
Frank, I'm coming for you personally. I love you, Frank. I love Frank. But don't get on the wrong side of one of my tangents. I swear to God. But
we
yeah,
literally for 54 minutes, Chicka. 54 minutes. You and I have gone back to back on rants. When someone watches this, they're gonna be like, "Were they on their period? What the hell did we do?"
No, this is how women are feeling right now.
We're just,
as Frank says, men are idiots. What can we say? Thank you, Frank. You are still on my good side. I still love you.
Right. You younger men under 60, under 50, I think 50, 55, most men understand and appreciate abortion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They appreciate abortion because probably sometime in their lifetime, from the time they were about 13 until then, they've had a scare with someone they definitely
don't want to have a kid
with. Whether they were young, in a relationship with someone else, married with kids, and the side chick got pregnant.
Or you're married with kids and you can't afford another fucking child because childcare is so expensive in this country, and we don't have universal childcare or pre-K or universal. We don't have maternity leave. Paternity leave. It's expensive to have a child.
It costs about 20 grand. No, what, 30 grand to have a kid. $30,000 to have a kid. And we don't have universal health care. Who paying that bill? Y'all, you talk about, public aid. You don't want people on public aid. Well, give them abortion and they don't need to be on public aid.
Set them up to succeed. Do not set people up to fail. Man, I was talking to a coworker of mine yesterday. He also leans the way that I do. His wife is pregnant. They just found out it's a daughter. And he was saying this decision on Friday. He was like, wow, I have always leaned toward women. You know what I mean? He has always believed in the right to abortion, the right to women. He was said something about they just got the news that they were having a daughter like the day or two before this. And he said that it just hit him because his daughter is going to be born with less rights than her grandmother. You know what I mean? And that is like, you're still on mute.
That just blows my mind. My children have less rights than their grandmother had. Mm-hmm. Their grandmother. Mm-hmm. Grandma had more rights. What does that say for our country? It's not working. Our country is not working. It hasn't been working for a really long time.
No. The electoral college has to go. We've had multiple. I was trying to, again, talking with a friend, we were trying to figure out the last time a Republican president was won an election and won the popular vote.
Reagan.
Did Bush Sr. win the popular vote? I'm not 100% sure. I meant to look that up. I did. Reagan, yeah, sure. And so we now have individuals who are of voting age who have never lived in an era where a Republican has won the electoral college and the popular vote. Can you imagine just living like, oh, Republicans won? Well, more people, didn't like the other candidate, but sucks because guess what? We live in Illinois and our vote doesn't count as our buddies that live over in some of these other states. It is just wild out there. And like you said, a lot of things just need to change. No, lobbies have too much money. Don't get me started on guns. Don't get me started on any of those other things. Because there's just too much things. So we have ranted for close to an hour. However, let's talk about what we want to do moving forward to help our fellow women, because we can rant and yell and I can come on here and I can just go off on a tangent, but actionable items are what we need to focus on. I voted yesterday. No, I voted a couple days ago. You voted yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What else have you been thinking of personally doing? Have you been thinking of personally doing?
You have to vote, and you have to be conscious of that. You have to give to organizations that will put in other groups, grassroots type of campaigns, and really tell the truth about what's going on. Opening my home, like, hell, my friends know something happened to you in Texas and you need to come get one. Come, you gonna stay with me, and I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna drop you off, and you gonna stay
The camping, the camping trips, the out of state camping trips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. It's making sure that your state does what you need it to do for you, and vote those people out that aren't getting it. It's time for everybody to realize that this is the time. It's now or never. This is like 1776 all over again.
This is the reckoning.
I need you must, but for the love of Jesus, you have to get out and vote. Chicago, we had 13% of the population vote yesterday. 13%? Really, people? 13%.
You can automatically vote by mail. It's so easy. Just sign up. That your ballots will come right to you. You have plenty of time to research. And hell, all you got to do is ask on Facebook, because I've had a lot of people asking, like, hey, where is a good reputable place that I can find the endorsements that I want to see? Where can I find the information on the judges? I know I've shared it. Other people have shared it. All you got to do is ask. Yeah, step one, definitely voting. You
got to know that, guess what? Yes, your particular vote may not make a difference, but guess what? Me, you, my entire high school class can make a difference.
Absolutely. Especially some of these, the more local the election is, the more your vote matters, because there are elections that come down to like 24 people, right?
Yeah.
So voting itself is number one. I personally, after this, look, I'm not writing to my representatives. I'm not calling. They're on the same side as me. It's not really going to do anything, right? However, one thing I've been talking about with some of my coworkers, like I work for a Fortune 100 company. There have been a lot of large companies that have been coming out with statements. My company has not yet, putting the pressure on my company to make a statement. And not just, again, talking with a coworker, we're seeing these other companies saying they're going to give reimbursement for women going out of state to get abortions. That's great. But we still need to address the fact that our companies don't have paid maternity leave for long periods of time. I think my company now gives parents, they have the standard unpaid. I think the standard paid is like an extra 10 days, so 2 weeks. So we got 2 weeks of paid PTO for having a kid. Like, let's talk about increasing that. Again, we have to do more to help. I don't have kids. I don't want kids, but I understand we need children in the world, and we need those working moms and dads in the workforce, or else everything is going to crumble and fall apart. That is what we have to keep. And so for me, it's kind of starting to put the internal pressure on my own corporation to start to be like, hey, and and I like my company. I think we have good benefit. We have benefits for trans individuals. We have all these ones. We have, there's a lot of good things, but like right now, I need you to say something. And it's just not mine. It is a lot of other ones.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is a matter of, now that this is what the WSO is, this is what it is. So now all you states and all you people who say, oh, we'll adopt, I need everybody that said they're pro-life, you should be at the front and center of your local health and family services department.
They should have already been foster parents. Because guess what? There are tons of children that are wards of the state. They live in group homes. They will age out of the foster system. Now is a great time for those individuals to put their money where their mouth is at and go ahead and adopt some of these kids that are in foster care whose parents have given up their parental rights, which is something that I actually would like to do in my 40s. I would like to adopt some older foster children. Not yet, girl. I can't have no kids, but I'll tell you what, I would rather deal with a mouthy ass teenager than a toddler throwing a temper tantrum.
Oh yeah, at that age, they're. I prefer. I always say, you know what? I wanted 4 kids. I only wanted to get pregnant twice, but hell, they came so far up between each other. So far apart. I'm like, nope. God gave me these 2, and I got football players because that's all that my. Mm-hmm. I need to be able to give you back that 13, 14 age. I could see, maybe in my 60s saying, okay, I can be a foster mom, 13 to a 13, 14-year-old, or even a 15-year-old, because now the age where I can mold you, I can assist you in your final development before you go out and become an adult.
And let's be real, parenting just doesn't stop at 18.
Hell no.
I still ask my mom Mommy, tell me how to do this. She's like, you're a grown-ass woman. You know more about this than I do. I'm like, I know, but parent me, please. Yeah, so it's like parenting doesn't stop. And it's yeah. Yeah, you'll know. Yeah, and it's like the thought of these children aging out, and we talked about this in my last episode, and I started to cry because it's like these children are going to age out without any family, and we expect them to be productive members of society. How? You need support. It always has taken a village to raise a child. But if you just give these kids all these disadvantages. So yeah, all those people out there who say don't have abortions, y'all better bring in a bunch of foster kids. Thank you. And don't be choosy and only wanting to adopt the white kids. Right, the white kids that don't have any issues. They don't want one that this mom was a drug addict. This mom was guess what? She couldn't get an abortion. So yes, that is, but yeah, it's definitely for me, it's looking for actionable items. I've done, what is the organization called? Vote Forward before. It's a letter writing campaign to people in swing states. It could have a little bit of impact. And so I'm going to be doing that again this year. It's just really whatever we can do to help and really help spreading the word. And yeah, look, if push comes to shove, anyone that knows me, like, I got a spare bedroom. If you need to go camping in the middle of Chicago because you need a medical procedure, hit me up. We'll have a great camping trip. Maybe I'll make you some s'mores. Oh, I lost Coach. Well, that was actually the end of my rant because I did want to finish on the positive notes of what we as women can do moving forward. No, I will never get into politics. So don't ask me, look, my mom's, I'm like, you should wait. No, I'm not going to politics, but I will stand on the sidelines and I will look for actionable things to do. And I will always get out and vote. And if you did not vote in the primary, don't worry. We have the general elections later this year. Now is a great time to look to see who won the primaries and get yourself up to date on there. Vote Forward is a great organization. If you want to just do some letter writing campaigns to people in swing states, there's a lot of ways that you can get involved out there. I know sometimes it can feel very much like, I'm in Illinois. What can I do? What is going to change anything? And we can also embrace our now title of being the safe haven for women in the Midwest. So on that note, I don't have this ready, but Terrence, you want to give me my outro? I can actually do it myself.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Bye.